Hello everyone. In this session, we will understand ASP.NET Inbuilt Login Control. Okay, and I hope you had done session management and cookies, and based on that, we can understand that how we can use this login control. Okay, so if you haven't done this session, then please go through those video and then just understand it, and then come back here to understand inbuilt login control. So to use this, the inbuilt login control, there are two ways. One thing you can do is you can map or you can embed the database with this login control. You create user there and map it with this inbuilt login control. This is the way. Okay, I mean you can program it. Okay, you can program it with the ADO.NET and map it with your inbuilt login control. This is the one way. Other way is to just use the inbuilt configuration of this Visual Studio. There is inbuilt configuration of ASP.NET here. You create the user there and then can play around with inbuilt control. Okay, and I try my best to give you both idea, but if I go with coding, all coding, then it will be going to be a very lengthy video and going to be a very longer session for me. Okay, so what I did is I have almost I think 5 control, like login view, login name, create user wizard, password recovery, change password. These are all control of inbuilt login control. Okay, so what I did is to program this, I had used only one. Okay, so login control, I'm going to show you the login control, how you can program it with your database application. Okay, so that I'll show you with coding. But the other controls like create user wizard, change password, password recovery, and other stuff are going to be like I'm going to use the inbuilt configuration of this Visual Studio. Okay, so you'll see what I'm going to do. So the first thing is I already had created one database, database.mdf. So because I'm getting some errors, so I already had created. I just add this. I haven't created any table or like that, so don't worry, I'll do it in this session only. So now the other thing what I need is I need a web form. So add new item, and I will take web form here, and I will give a name such as login.aspx, and I'll change the font here, so this is big. The other thing that I need is another form. So this form is going to be home.aspx. Okay, so this is your home page, and the page that I earlier had created is login.aspx. Understood? So I'm going to create here login controls, and then when user get logged, then he is going to redirect in this home.aspx. Okay, so let me just go to the design part, and I actually need only this. So you can find this inbuilt login control in the toolbox with the help of Control Alt X. You can this is the shortcut for opening this toolbox, and you can get this login tab here, and if you expand this login tab, you will find this inbuilt login control. So we have pointer, which is, I mean, it is not very useful, like it just changed this cursor. Okay, so we have this change password, create user wizard for register user, then we have login, we have login name, we have login status, we have login view, and password. These are the inbuilt controls that I can use here in this tutorial. Okay, I hope you will understand it. So the first control that I'm going to show you, so I'm going to show you this login control with the coding. Okay, so I'll drag and drop here. So this, you can see, this is the login. It is giving you the same I mean the same customization that you do in your HTML page. So it is inbuilt. You just have to drag and drop. So we will change some of the properties of this login control. So I'm going to open the property. You can go by right clicking in property, or either you can press F4 to open the property window. So what I need is one thing I need is I need to provide the instruction. So you find the instruction text here. So it is here, instruction text. Can you see? So I'm going to provide the text here. So I'll say enter your username and password to login. So this is going to be my so you can see here I'm going to so this n is not provided, so I'm going to n. So you can see here it is the instruction is being shown over here. You can see the other thing that I need here is I need one method that is on authenticate. So when user is being authenticated, then I want to generate that method, okay, and the method name is on authenticate. So what you can do is you can find this event um, the bar, and you click on that and you will find this authenticate um, authenticate event, okay, and you double click it. So it will generate login underscore authenticate method. And now you will code this login authenticate. So I'll just 150 so that you can view it. So again, get back to login.aspx. I'll go to the source, and you can see that I had generated an event on authenticate. So it will check when you run in the Firefox, it will check that the user is authenticate or not, okay. If it is authenticate, then it will work around, and if it is not, then the possible error is going to be shown. Next thing is I had created already this database.mdf, that is my database. So I'm going to create the table first. So I'll go to this table, add new table, and I'll provide username, that is varchar, and I'll say you pass again varchar, okay. And so other thing is I'm going to close this. Also I have to save it, so I'll give the name tbill underscore data, and then I'll provide some, you can find here, so tbill underscore data, and these are the username and password. So this is username and this is password. So I'm going to say show table data, and I'm going to create one user here, a dummy user with username and password. So I'll say admin, and the password is 123. Okay, so this is my user. So this user can be created with this inbuilt configuration of this Visual Studio. You can create it manually too, automatically too. This is a manual method that I'm doing. Okay, so I had created one user that the username is admin and 123 is the password. So I have this table here right now. So now what I'm gonna do is so I already have this login control here, and I have this login.aspx.cs, and I have a method login underscore authenticate method, okay, and I'm going to code here to validate or to authenticate my user. So I need a method here in the authenticate function, so I'll say if, and the method name is validate user. So this is the method, and I'll say login1, that is my control, that login1 is the control name, the inbuilt control, okay. So login1 is the ID of that login1 dot username, and I'll say, and I'm passing the argument here, so login1 dot password. So these are the two parameters that I'm passing over here for the function validate user, okay. And I have to create this validate user. So what you can do is you can put your cursor in this validate user, press alt or enter, and it will oh, it is not showing me, okay, or sometimes it doesn't show you the inbuilt intelligence. However, you can create this validate user here in this part, okay. So first of all, if validate user, and I'm passing two arguments, login1 dot username, login1 dot password, then if the user is validated or authenticated, then what you can do is you can redirect it, response dot redirect to the other page. And what is the page? That if the user is authenticated, then I want to redirect it to the home.aspx. So I'm going to pass home.aspx. Make sure you provide the same HOME, the same name that you are providing here in this web form, okay. So home.aspx. If the user is not authenticated, then what you can do is you just say e is this authenticate event argus. This is the variable e. So I'll say e dot authenticated equals to false, okay. So this is the thing. Now I have to create this validate user. So this validate user function is going to be a boolean function, okay. So I have to create that, and I'll go here and I'll say private bool the data type of this function validate. So I'll just copy here in case if I go wrong. So this is the validate user function, and I'm passing the two argument that it needs. So I'll say string string, and the other name is username, and the string password. Okay, so these are the two parameters that I had provided here, and the same parameters I'm passing over here. Okay, next thing is and now I gonna code here. So make sure that this is the boolean the boolean function, so it is going to return something, right? So you can see here the error is because we haven't provide the return keyword here, so that's why the error is coming. But however, in the last part of the when you go line by line with the coding, you will see that we have to return something. So the error is nothing but it says that I need a return value, so I'll provide the return value in the end. Okay, so first thing first, so I need three parameters to provide here. So first parameter is the status of my user, so I'm doing with the help of a boolean, so bool status. And the other thing is I need the uname that I want to pass it to the other page with the help of session. So string I can pass it in the same line, but that's okay, uname and the password. So okay, the next thing is I hope you understand the I hope you had done ADO.NET. So the next step that I'm going to provide here is the ADO.NET steps. So the first step of ADO.NET is to SQL connection the class. You have to create the connection string, right? So to use the connection string I need namespace. So what I'm gonna do is I'm providing namespace here using system.data.sql client. This is the namespace that SQL connection string needs here. So I'm separating here out SQL connection con equals to new SQL connection, and you know that this SQL connection needs here there are two overload methods. The first is by default there is nothing, but the second overload method needs a string connection string. So I need a string here, the connection string in the string format. So how can I provide this connection string? By go to your database, right click to it, and it will take some time, and go to the properties, or otherwise you can directly press F4 and it will open the property window, and you can see there is this connection string and it is in the string format. So I will just double click it, I'll copy it, I close it, and I will provide this in double quotes, and this is my connection string. However, it will give you some errors. So to resolve this error, first of all, there are single this slashes. .NET doesn't support it, so I'll just provide at the rate. You can, this is a verbatim string, this at the rate, I think this is the at the rate is the other name verbatim string. Okay, so other thing is you from database.mdf you take all these things and remove it and just say data directory, so that the whole path is being stored inside this data directory, so that your Visual Studio gonna understand that I need a path, and that path is being stored in data directory. And you remove this double quotes from here, and this is your connection string. Okay, I hope you understand it. The next step that it needs is SQL command cmd equals to new SQL command, and I'm going to say the command name is select star. This is not a complex query, so I'm just select star from tbl underscore data. And if you remember, see, this is the third overload method. It needs SQL connection. So I already had provided the string command, so this is your string command, the SQL query, and the other thing it needs is the object of your class SQL connection. So what is the object? Con. So I'm going to provide con here. Okay, so this is the SQL command. The next step it needs is SQL data adapter, SDA equals to new SQL data adapter. And if you see the second parameter of this second method of this SQL data adapter, it needs SQL command select command. So it needs the command object. So SQL command object, what is the object of SQL command? CMD. So I'm going to provide here CMD here. That's it. I'm so sorry. Okay, and the next step is I need data table or either data set, but it is good to go with data set. So I'm going to go with data set, and if I click here data set, you will see that it is not going to show you in the IntelliSense. So what you can do, it needs a namespace as using system.data. So I'm going to provide using system.data. So once I use that namespace using system.data, now you can see I can access dataset. So dataset ds equals to new dataset, and then I'm going to use fill function sda dot fill, and what I want to fill, I will provide this object of dataset. It is okay, it is asking me. Now the next step, generally if you bind the grid view, then you generally use grid view dot data bind function, but however we are not using this ADO.NET for binding purpose. Here we need to log in, right? So how this ASPX.cs is going to understand that or know that where is your username and password? So I have to provide something something common, so that .aspx.cs can understand that from where exactly my username and password can I take. So one thing is I'm providing tbl underscore data, but where in tbl underscore data, what column I need. Okay, so what column I need to provide username and password. So I have to explicitly provide in aspx.cs that this column I need for username and password. So it's just like the find control when you are dealing with crude operations for grid view. Okay, where there you have to find the text box for update, for delete, with the help of find control method. Okay, so the same thing we are doing over here. So I'll say I had already I already had used this string uname and pass, so I'm going to use that. So I'll say uname, and this uname is going to store something. So what I'm gonna do is I'll use ds this. Okay, so right now this ds is holding everything from tbl underscore data. Okay, so the all property of tbl underscore data, that is the column, the dummy data, the row, everything is inside this ds right now. Okay, because we mapped this, we filled it. Okay, so I can use this ds. So I'm gonna say ds dot tables. Okay, and what table? So this is the first table. The table data set is the set of data table. Okay, it is having collections of tables. So what table I need the table first. So tables 0 at 0 index, whatever the table is there, please provide me. So tables 0, and then I'll say inside the table underscore data at what column. So if I'm saying table 0, then it is nothing but table underscore data, but inside that table underscore data, what row you need. So I'm going to say I need rows 0. Okay, and why I'm saying row 0, because if you see the table definition of table underscore data, then your uname is at 0 index, then you pass is also no, sorry, I need show table data, not this one, but show table data, not this. And I don't need this table definition, but instead I need show table data. If you see, the column is this 0 and the column of password is 1. However, they are in the same row, so this is 0. Okay, I need this user at index 0. I need this user. Okay, and then row 0, I need to provide the data column name. You can see here in the IntelliSense, in the tooltip, it is showing you that it needs data column here. So I'm going to provide here what column I need. You can see here uname I want to provide. So I'll say uname and then the to string. So this is for the username, and I'm going to save this whole thing. Okay, so whatever the username that I'm getting here, so username admin is going to come over here. So I'm going to save inside a variable, and the variable name is string uname. You can also write here string, but I already had created the same name here. Okay, so both thing is going to work. So the same thing I have to provide for password. So I'll just say the row is going to be same, right? So both admin and username and password are on the same row, so row is going to be the same. So the thing that is going to change is this password column name. Okay, and I'll say pass. This is it, right? So next thing is if I'm getting the username and password here, so let's say admin and 123, then what I want that I want now session. I want to check first of all that the username that I am providing here inside this application and in the database, those username and passwords are same or not. Okay, so I'm going to check it. So I can check is with the help of I'll say uname uh, that I'm getting from the string uname, this uname is equals to the username that is the authenticate username that you are providing over here in the validate user. Sorry, this one string username. Those are similar or not? So equal actually. I almost always forget. So username and your password. So pass equals password equal password. Okay, if both of these are same, then I need that the username is to be saved inside one session so that I can pass that username onto the home.aspx page. So I'm going to use one session, so I'll say session, and session needs the parameter username. So this is the username, and I will say it is coming from uname. Okay, so this uname is having the the application username that you are providing. So I'm saving inside one session. The session name is username, and this basic string, this string username, I'm going to pass it to the home.aspx. Okay, so that if the user is validated or authenticated, then if it is right or validated or authenticated, then it is going to be redirect to the home.aspx with the help of this string username variable. Okay, this session. So that means if my username and password are correct, then I need to say the status that I had provided in the boolean, it should be true, right? So this is it. And if the things are pretty much wrong, then in the else condition I'm going to say the status is to be false. And if you remember, as I told you that your validate user needs the boolean, right? It is a boolean function. So my boolean function definitely needs something in return, and what return thing I can provide the status. So if your user is authenticated, then status is going to be true. Then this return statement is going to hold true in boolean, and it is going to provide over here, and if it is true, then it is redirect to home.aspx. If it is false, from the else status equals to false, then this return is going to be false. It comes over here and it comes over here. If it is false, then the authenticated equals to false. It is not going to redirect. Okay, I hope you are getting it. So for login.aspx and .aspx is being completely done. The other thing that I have to provide over here, this is home.aspx. So I'm going to double click, and what I can do here, I need one control. So I'll say control alt X, and I just I just pass label over here. So this is my label, and I will go to home.aspx.cs, and here I'll just change the font, and I have to provide something. So if you remember that I had created one session here, the session name is username. So in the page load event, I'll say if my session, and you can see it asks for the index. So that is the same index that I have to provide, the username. If you remember, username that I had, if your username is not equals to null, so if it is not equals to null, if it is not providing you, then what you can do is you can say label1 that you had taken, label1 dot txt, and then you just pass it like this, hey there, or you can say welcome, or like that, anything that the message that you want to provide, and say session. And what session in index you're having username, right? So username, you can also remove this if condition, but however it is just for the checking that if the user is providing any username or not in the login.aspx. So if it is not, then it is not going to come in this section. It directly goes into the else condition, right? So session username, and then I say dot toString, and if the if the session is wrong somehow, if it is not there, then what I can do is response dot redirect. I can redirect it to again in the login.aspx. Okay, so this ends your coding part, the complete coding part. One thing I have to provide here is web.config. I have to do something for my web.configuration file, and actually in the web.config part I actually have this in website one.solution. I had created one web.config file, the same thing. I'll just copy it. I need this app settings. I almost forgot this. So what I can do is I will copy it and I'm going to paste here. So I need to use this app settings, and this app setting is having on obtrusive validation mode. Well, basically what it does is this is basically, by the way, this is a jQuery, or you can say JavaScript. So what it does, it minimizes your validation. So validation. So all these validations in the login.aspx are based on JavaScript, right? The backend code for login control has been written in JavaScript. So if I'm not using this app settings, then what will happen if you see the view page source, if you see, then if you are not providing this, then if you see the view page source, then all the JavaScript that you had used, it is going to show inside that page. Okay, whenever it renders the page. So if I'm go over here and if I view page source, then the JavaScript of that validation, the whole validation that you had used in the login, it is going to show, it is going to shown over here like this. Okay, like this. However, if you use this obtrusive validation mode, if you provide it, okay, if you make it true, or if you provide it here in the web.config, then it is not going to show this script. Okay, then it is not going to show the script. And you can check this resource of codeguru.com, then you can see that it is using on obtrusive validation. So if you are not using it, then all this, you can see this script, and it is having all these validation, required field, required field, all these are required field basically. So it is showing you the script of that validation method, right? So but if you are using obtrusive this obtrusive validation mode, then you can see here it is not going to show me any script. It is just going to show me the spen class. Inside that I'm using control to validate and required field. It is not going to show me the JavaScript. Okay, it is not going to show me this whole bunch of thing. It is just giving me the actual thing that I had used. I hope you are getting it. This is the thing that I had provided. So now if I try to run this, I'll try to run this. I hope it will work. So let's see. So what it says, website 3 dot, let me just, oh, I'm so sorry, web.config runs. So I need this login.aspx to be run. So now you will see that login.aspx is going to be loaded here, and this is the instruction method. I actually have to false this. I have to make this disabled. Remember me next time. You can do it by going to property and just disable it. Okay, so you can see if I say admin1, and this is not actually the user that I had created, but I'm just putting the validations that, so if I remove the password, you can see if I click on this login button, then it will show me the validation, required field validated. That is what I'm saying. This login control has the all validation. Okay, I'm not creating any validation. It is inbuilt inside this login control, and those validation, those required field, range field, all those validations are in JavaScript. So if you go to the view page source, then it is going to show you that I'm using the the JavaScript of that required field, range field, all these. But instead, if I'm using that obtrusive validation mode, then it is not going to show me the script or JavaScript of that. Okay, so you can see it is inbuilt with the validation method. So now if I go with admin and I say 1 2 3, and when I click login, then you will see that I am on the page home.aspx with hey there admin, and this is my username that I had provided in the session. So this is the one control from the login inbuilt control, and I had shown you this login with ADO.NET, that how you can create it and how you can map up with your control. Thank you so much for listening to me. So in the previous session I had shown you this login.aspx by creating one database and one user, and then we play around, right? Now in this session I'm going to create one user with the help of ASP.NET Web Configuration, okay, the inbuilt function of this Visual Studio. I'm going to create one user here, and I'm going to play with these, the maximum controls from this login panel. Okay, so for that I have to create one new application. So I'm going to say web application, empty website, and login. And I need a web form, so I'll say the first web form I need here is my login, and another one is for home.aspx, the same. Okay, so home.aspx. So I come back to this login.aspx. I will change the font 150, and now you will see that in the design section I'm not going to create any design here. It is going to be the simplest tutorial, so please bear with me that I'm not creating any design table like that, okay, not coloring and stuff. So I had created login.aspx and home.aspx, and before going further with these controls I have to create one user here. So one way to do is you can do with the help of this web.config here, okay, but I'm going to close it because as I told you that I'm not going to code anything here. I'm going to do everything with automatic process or automatic configuration of this Visual Studio, right? So I'm going to go with this website here, and we have this ASP.NET configuration, this function. So I'm going to click here. So it will open the Firefox and the page website administration tool. So I will go with this security option, and if I already have any user there, then I have to remove it. So you have to click on this select authentication type, and then I'll select and then provide from the internet, and then press on this done button, and then you see I don't have any user, existing user 0. So you can create a user here. So you create with the help of this sign up a new account. You will say admin, and then password is going to be, now see there is a inbuilt validation in this password, so it needs alphanumeric and whatever the complex password you can create, you have to create here. So I'm going to say PASS, let me say PASSWORD, and I'll say @ okay. So if I don't provide this @ or any alphanumeric, then it is going to show me the error that the password should be having minimum 7 characters, 1 alphanumeric, like that. Okay, so in the confirm password I'll say PASSWORD and @ I think I had done something wrong here in the password section. So PASSWORD @ and I'll say PASSWORD @ okay, the password is same now, and the email is admin what I can say, admin @gmail.com, because I don't have any email server, so I am just providing the dummy email here. Security question is going to be like favorite sport. I already had done this, that's why it is going to show me these options, favorite sport, and the option is cricket. So the cricket is not the option, but so I'm creating user here. So this is the user. So complete, your account has successfully created, continue, and if you go with home here, and you can see here existing user 1. So I have right now 1 user. So this user is going to help me in understanding these controls. Okay, so now I will drag and drop this login control here. So this is the login control, as I told you. Okay, and we will see the properties here. So press F4, and the first thing I'm going to remove this remember me next time, and I think display remember me, you can make it false and it has been gone. Second thing is you can go with the property name destination page URL. So what do you mean by destination page URL? Basically, if the username and password is right and user press login, then where I want to redirect the user. So for redirection I have this home.aspx. So find this destination page URL, press here on this small end button, and you will find these web form, whatever the web form you had created. So I had created home.aspx. I'm going to click it. So user is now going to redirect to home.aspx if the user is the authenticate user. Okay, this is this. You can play around with this login control. You can change the orientation of it. Like you can go for vertical on horizontal. Right now it is in the vertical orientation, so you can change it to horizontal. I'll show you if I can see. This orientation is vertical right now. You can change into horizontal and it looks like this. So I don't think it looks good. Maybe it looks good. Okay, so I had did this. Now I will going to I'm going to what I can say, I will run it. And so when I run it, control F5, open the Firefox, and it will show you the login form here. It's still in the vertical format, right? Okay, so you can see I had created that user admin, right? Remember? So I'll say here, I'll say this is login.exp by the way. So I'll say admin, and the password is PASSWORD and at the rate. When I say login, you can see that I come to home.aspx. So if my user is authenticated, so I'm redirect to home.aspx, right? So in a way, if my user is not authenticated, so if I say admin1, admin1 is not available right now, right? So if I say password is 123, when I hit login, you will see that there is a validation or the authentication function. Your login attempt was not successful, but please try again, because the user admin1 is not available in the database. So it will not going to work around, right? So this is your login control. This is the first login control that you had seen, right? The second thing that we will understand, that this create user wizard, right? So next we will understand this create user wizard. For that I need to create another web form. So I'll say add new item, and I'll say web form, and I will change the name to register.aspx, right? So I don't need to increase the font, but however I'm doing it. Okay, so I'll drag and drop create user wizard. So you can see this is a sign up for new account. So there you had created one new user, right? Remember in the ASP.NET configuration you had created one new user. Now with the help of this sign up new account, you can create another user in that part only, right? So you had drag create user wizard, and we will see some of the properties of it. So one property that we had to see is press F4, and the property that you need to change is continue destination page URL. So find that. So here we have continue destination page URL. There we go. Continue destination page URL. So what it says that if the user is been created successfully, create user, if it is successfully created, then where you want to redirect the user. So definitely I want to redirect it to the login.aspx again, right? So I'll press on this button and I'll say go to the login.aspx after the user is registered, right? So this is the property I have to provide. And now when I run this application, you will see that by the way, you can also I think you can change some of the you can see there is an option called as auto format. You can change according to your styles, whatever the style. So let's say colorful is the thing that I want. So I'll press F5. You will see the look and feel is going to be changed. So I'm going to create another user here. I'll say admin. Earlier admin1 is not available, so now admin1 is going to available, admin1, and then password is going to be PASSWORD and double at the rate symbol. So at the rate PASSWORD at the rate, and email is going to be admin1 and security question again is going to be favorite sport, and favorite sport is hockey. By the way, my password is basically password @@, but let's say if I'm providing the, you can see there are inbuilt validation method available. So if I say 123 only and 123 only, and if I create the user, it will not allow you. You can see password length minimum is 7 and alphanumeric character required 1. So that's why you can see here there are inbuilt validation method available. So PASSWORD @ again PASSWORD @ I hope this is right. And when I say create user, you can see your account has been successfully created. Still we are on register.aspx, but when I hit continue, you will see that I am redirecting my control to login.aspx. See, continue, you can see I come back to login.aspx. So the thing is, you will see that I had created admin1. So am I ready with that user or not? So let's log in with that username, admin1, and I'll say password. Password is going to be PASSWORD @@, and when I hit OK, you will see I'm going to redirect to login.aspx from login.aspx to home.aspx. So I'm successfully logged in my page home.aspx. I come back and I come to my account. Okay, so this is the way you can use this create user wizard, right? Next thing we're gonna understand is login name. So this login name is going to provide you the name on which you are logged in, right? So if I'm logged in with admin, then this login name is going to show you the login name admin, right? So drag and drop this login name inside where, in home.aspx. I'm dragging it here. So I'm going to say here, I actually have to say welcome user, and then I'm going to drag and drop this login name, right? So just a space and then, right? So now welcome user, and the username is going to be shown over here. So when I run this, you will see. So let's say now in the, oh actually I need to run this login.aspx. I almost forgot it. So actually I actually need to change this too. So it doesn't look good, right? So press F4, and the orientation is going to be vertical again. By the way, you can change all these color and stuff. You can see back color, border color. There are many options available inside for theming this login control, right? And again I'm going to auto format it so it looks good, colorful. I think it looks good, but classic is also good. Okay, so now when I'm going to run this, okay, so I'm running with admin and then I'll say PASSWORD @ and I say login. You will see that home.aspx now giving me admin. Okay, this is the username I'm logged in with. So if I say, if I'm again if I open this login.aspx, and now I'm logged in with admin1. So if I say admin1 and say PASSWORD and @ and log in, you will see that I am logged in with welcome user admin1. You can see, okay, so it is working fine. Okay, and now let's say I'm going to drag and drop this login status, and login status is going to show you that that I am logged. It will give you the option called as log in and log out, right? It's going to show you those options. So I'm going to drag and drop this this login status inside my home.aspx again. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just tab it a little. Actually I can use table here and then, you know, drag and drop that login status inside the column 2 of that table, but however I haven't used it, so look and fill is not going to you know, not give you the best option. So you're having login one, right? Now some of the property I need to change here. So press F4, and then the first property that you need to change is logout action. Okay, so what you want to do after the user log out from the session, right? So find the property log out action, and you can see it is refresh. There are three options: refresh, redirect, or redirect to login page. So I'm going to change to redirect. Whatever the page you are providing, it will redirect that home.aspx. Okay. So next thing is, after the user get logged out, which page you want to redirect. So I'll say the option is log out page URL. So this is logout page URL. So where you want to redirect the user after the user get logged out, again login.aspx, right? So login.aspx, and so now let's run this. So I'm going to run this login.aspx, and again I'm going to log in with admin and PASSWORD @ and when I say login, you will see that I am welcome user admin, and there is an option log out, right? So when I press on this log out button, I'm again going to redirect to login.aspx. See, and there you go, login.aspx, right? So this is the login status. And now login view is basically give you that you are login or not, is the same functionality as login status. So that's why I'm not using login view. However, I'm going to use this change password. Now change password, for that I need to create another page. So I will say change password. Okay, so this is change password, and I'm going to drag and drop this change password here. So this is the change password functionality. You can see this is looking great, and I will just increase the size in case. Okay, so what property you need to change here? So press F4, and the property that you need to change is, again you need to find continue destination page URL. So I'm going to find this continue destination page URL. So after change password, where you want to redirect the user? Definitely on the login.aspx. So I'll press on this login.aspx. So after user change its password, the user is going to redirect again to login.aspx to log in, right? So I'm going to change it. Next thing is display username. So where is it? Here it is false. Actually you can make it true, and why I'm using it is your change password control doesn't know whose password you need to change, right? So that's why I had just changed the username from false to true. So when I going to run this change password, you will see when I press F5 and I'm going to run this change password. So username for admin, I want to change the password. So the earlier password was PASSWORD @ and now my password is going to be changed as admin @ okay, admin @ and say change password. You will see your password has been changed. So when I hit on this continue button, you will see that change password.aspx is going to change to login.aspx. So I can again log in, continue, and the password I changed is for admin, and my earlier password was password 0. You will see if I say, sorry, password @ so if I use that PASSWORD @ when I say login, you will see that your login attempt was not successful. Please try again, because my password has been changed to admin @ I think this is the password if I'm not wrong. So you can see welcome user admin and log out again. So this functionality is also works properly. So these are your the control for inbuilt login, and you had seen many of it. One thing is we have this password recovery. However, I actually this is actually not very hard. You just drag and drop here, you will see it says username. So what it gonna do is it will ask you the username to whom you want the password. So if I say admin here, it will ask you the security question like favorite sport, and I'll say hockey. Then when I hit this submit button, what it gonna do is it will ask you the mail, okay, the mail that you had provided in the authenticate user. So if I go with this ASP.NET configuration here and security, so I have this so here we have edit user. See, I have this admin @ gmail.com. This is a dummy email, right? So when you use this password recovery, then the password that it provide you this control is going to mail to this admin@gmail.com. However, this mail is not gonna work, right? Because this is not the mail. This is not a working mail. For this to work with this email, I need to set up a mail server in web.config. I need to set up that. I need that IP address, the host, and also I need the port and the mail server. So I don't have it. That's why I cannot use this password recovery functionality. However, if you can find a very good article on that, so I'll say password and I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. So if you find this, I'll zoom it out for you. Actually, this is not gonna zoom. I will magnify it. So take this URL asp.net suresh.com, and this is the link. So please find it out, this link, and inside this you will see that he had done this. So this is the delivery method of this mail setting. So inside the mail setting there is this URL, sorry, the mail administrator@asp.net. So this is the mail that he had used, and this is the IP address, the host, and the port number. So after that your password recovery is going to work, and there is a demo for that. You can see here. Can you find username, and he submit, and it is so sorry, he is taking the username. So this is the username and submit button. Then it will ask you the favorite, the question that you had seen, favorite sport. So I'll say hockey, and then it will give you the password, and it will mail it to the your mail server. So administrator@asp.net Suresh, and this is your username, and this is the password, the new password. Okay. So in this way, this password recovery is going to work. Please check out this blog. This is a very useful blog here. So password recovery, you can please check out that blog. I don't have the mail settings right now, so I cannot show you. Okay, almost you had done from this login control. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, and thank you so much for listening me. Okay.